Welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming podcast. I believe this is episode 105. I'm your co-host, Godly Sovereign. And of course, I have with me Sir Knight. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Just trying to escape that heat. For some reason, it just came in full force this week, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I would try to go outside for a walk every now and again, like last week, and then like this week, I was like, dude, I just stepped outside 1 foot, and I was like, whoa, what happened? It is hot out here tonight. It's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, man, definitely. And then it was like a weird little like downpour earlier this week. Like I woke up in the morning, I think it was like maybe Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, one of those two. And
Oh yeah,
the skies just tore open, freaking blew down as much as it could, and then it freaking just left for a bit, and then and it gave like a good little rain or whatever later on in the day. So it was just like really random. I was just like, dude, I had to look at the weather report and see like what did they already like predict this or what? It just seemed like out of nowhere. I saw like
I
no
know.
clouds or anything like that, and then all of a sudden, I wake
Yeah, it's
up
like
and
the
it's just
monsoon
crazy.
kind of thing, right? Like it just kind of comes
Yeah,
out of nowhere. Yeah, like I went to the garage and I looked at our van or whatever. I was like, dude, our van is so filthy. It must have rained because I didn't really know it rained.
yeah.
But I just know like it was all gloomy and cloudy, and I saw a few drops fall. But like it
Mhm.
must have rained heavy for like a minute or two, and then it just like stopped. So weird. June has
Yeah,
the weirdest weather out here in SoCal, dude.
yeah. It's
June
really
is
random.
bizarre. Yeah. But anyways, like also trying to get that solar taken care of. Trying
Okay.
to get these people, man, on the phone to talk, and get some prices and some quotes.
Yeah, I
It's like,
thought your dad had a
wow,
guy though.
dude, the guy will not call us back. Like he just will
He's
not get back
ducking.
to us,
He's
dude. It's
ducking
like,
the calls, man.
come on. Like I've been waiting like a week and a half now just to hear back from him. And
Yeah.
it's annoying because like I kind of called a couple other places, and so they're calling and trying to get in contact. And it's like, dude, it's annoying because I want to go into the conversation with you know, some quotes in hand that I can like say, hey, this is what we've been offered so far. How can you
Right.
guys do to beat it?
Yeah. What can y'all
Right.
do? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
can you
So it's
match
like
this? Yeah.
I just kind of go in there and just hear from them and get their spiel, but I don't really have a lot of ammunition, to get them lower. Because I'm thinking my dad's guy is going to be the cheapest, and so it's like I have another offer that's pretty good, but I don't think
Uh-huh.
it's going to be as cheap as my dad's.
It's not that
They're
off
like,
the back of the truck deal, right?
yeah, it's not the half of the half of the back of the truck deal, but that's like a major problem because if I give them that offer, they think that's all they have to beat, right?
Yeah.
Like if I give them the offer I have, they think that's all they have to beat. But I don't. I have a better offer than this, so it's like
Mhm.
it's just like a frustration. So
Well, give them that better offer, man. Like,
I just guess I'm not just gonna guess what it is,
hey,
So
man, wild shot in the dark, bro. Like,
nah.
shave an extra 1,000 off of that, and then be like, hey, well, I got this quote from this guy over here.
Not because
Can
I
you?
want to make sure I have that to actually fall back on. I take a shot in the dark and they say no, and then homie
What?
comes to me that's more than what they would have given me. It's like, dude, I don't have that shot in the dark to fall
But
back on.
they're not gonna say, nah, we ain't doing that shit. Fuck that. You find your own guy. They're just gonna be like, nah, I can't do that. I can only give it to you for this price. And then you just call them back and be like, yeah, hey,
Yeah, I gotta call him back with my tail between my
yeah,
legs. Yeah,
let me go ahead and get
actually,
that
you
one
know
thing.
what? Your offer was better. I was just playing games with y'all.
Hey, you call my bluff, man.
You
I
called
really
my
didn't
bluff.
have no other deals going
You
on,
called my
so
bluff.
let's go
Yeah,
ahead and work this out.
exactly. Oh my gosh,
That's what
man.
happens, man. That's what happens when you negotiate it, dude. You know what I mean? You gotta.
That's what it's dog eat
Sometimes you
dog out
gotta
there,
take
man. You
one
gotta
on the
bluff
chin,
it.
man. Yeah,
Yeah. You gotta go
that's
all in,
funny.
huh?
Yeah,
Anyways,
man. But
that's been
it's
my week,
been
man. What about you?
yeah, it's been like super hot, man. So I just been trying to like cool
Totally.
down and stay in the house and stuff like that, and sometimes, in my in my man cave or whatever, it could get a little stinky. So, shout out to Blue, man. I got my candle here,
It gets a little
from Blue's
stinky in the
company.
man cave, huh?
Yeah, I can't even pull that shit back. There it goes, right there. Shout out Blue, man, my candle. So it's smelling nice and fresh in here. You know what I mean? So keeping it right. But yeah, other than that, I just been playing a lot of Far Cry, man. Far Cry
Okay.
6. As
Oh,
much as I can. I've been trying not to play too much because I've been waiting on my father-in-law to keep doing some
right.
more of the
Move
story and
together.
stuff. but the game is so damn vast. Like, you know, what I mean,
Yeah,
it's
just
so
go
much
shut
stuff to
down
do. Yeah, I
outposts or
just did
something.
like
Yeah.
other stuff. Yeah, I just did BS, running around treasure hunting, things like that, you
Mhm.
know, to be able to like kill the time. Like, okay, I won't do any main stories. I'll just do this there and stuff like that. So I told you I got like the Alosu cat, the one that
Dude, you got I
the
mean you got end time productions here, man, taking shots, dude.
taking shots, man. What's up? Hey, I took a bath, man. But you know, sometimes you sitting in your man cave for like hours on end, and you just need that little fresh reset, man. So I had to light the candle, bro.
You need the
But
fresh
I
reset.
appreciate it, Blue. Yeah, that is your
Anyways, you
candle
just
in the
treasure
background. So
hunting, huh?
yeah, yeah. So I was doing like the treasure hunting and finding the things. So I found like Elosu, which was that little like that panther cat or whatever. Like the
Right.
I'm assuming it'd be the ultimate stealth cat, the stealth animal, because there's like 3 stealth and then 3 combat, I believe, that they
Mhm.
give you. And then I was messing around. I found Boom Boom.
Oh, that
So
dog
I
I was
don't
telling
know.
you about, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know why I call him Boom. All he does is retrieve items from dead bodies. So
Mhm.
if you kill something from afar, you tell him to go and get it instead of you running over to it, which isn't that great. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm assuming that Sir Goodwood was talking about Elosu, the cat or whatever, because that seems by
Yeah, but
far the best one.
but
I
he
didn't
said a
find the
dog.
Robo Dog though.
There's one more dog. Yeah, there's the K9000.
Okay, K9. So I
So
still got to find that one. Yeah,
he's
that one's
probably
hidden
talking
because
about
it's not even on my list of like
right.
amigos to go after. So
Well, and
um
you know what I'm talking about with Boom Doom? You kind of just stumble upon him right like in a quest. You're like doing a
uh
side mission or something, and then like you just get him. It's not like he's on
yeah,
your list of pets to get, right?
yeah, like it's no Boom Boom is on your list of pets to get. Like he's blacked out, and then it says like go to meet the Maxima's camp or whatever, and then you'll find it there next to like a shipping container or something like that. And so I had found that I had already picked up that quest. So then I went and did it, and it sent me over there, and I just had to open a bunch of shipping containers up, and then he's in there. And
Okay,
so it's like,
because you
oh, okay,
said that you
cool.
didn't see any dogs on your list last week.
Yeah, I didn't, but I started like looking at the Amigos list some more, and then I saw like, okay, besides chorizo, there's chicharron, which is the rooster, and then underneath it is like a hard to see silhouette, but it's a dog when you look at the description, kind of, you know.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, that must be what he was talking about, but that ain't it. So it must be this canine one or something, but.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to see if I can Google and find if there's any more amigos that are just like hidden. You know what I mean? And I'll spend my time like finding all of those because they're just like fun to have.
Mm-hmm.
Just different stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I was only using the crocodile or the alligator or whatever because that's the only one I had. And Chorizo's bunk, like he doesn't
He's
seem like he
terrible,
serve
dude.
any purpose. And I
Yeah.
think Chicharron would be dumb as hell to have. So
Yeah. To
it's
be
like.
honest, I don't even think I activated Chicharron, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
For
don't even
some
think I'm gonna
reason,
acquire him.
yeah.
I'm just gonna leave him grayed out. Like, yeah, I don't see the purpose unless I accidentally activate him, by like activating that mission. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna purposely search for him.
Yeah, it's
Have you
really
tried
dumb.
the?
It's
Go
really
ahead.
dumb, dude. Like when they put like a some type of like NPC follower that's like really weak, but then
Yeah,
like they make them strong. Because like in reality, dude, like one tiny bullet, like or even just a kick, would knock Chicharron out of the fight, dude. Like in reality, right? Like, but
even
then they
chorizo. Yeah,
even chorizo, yeah. But then they make these guys and they make Chicharron a fighter one, meaning he's got to get up close and personal, man. Like he's
yeah,
not like a
yeah.
stealth or like he's not like chorizo where he's like doing recon or something for you, like just
Or
listening
like
and
a
stuff.
distraction.
Like
Yeah,
he's
like, he's
supposed to
not a
be
distraction.
like the alligator. He's supposed to be like on that level. Like he's supposed to
Yeah,
be in there fighting. It's like, dude, you would
that
get
don't make
knocked
sense.
out in a second, man. Like it
Yeah,
just completely discourages you from wanting to even try it,
yeah.
right?
I
Completely.
honestly, I
But when I
honestly
bet
see
you
that
if you tried it, he'd probably be okay.
he might be all right. Yeah, he's
But
definitely gonna
it
like
just
kick
doesn't
butt
make
or
any
whatever, but it
sense,
doesn't
like
entice me to
thematically.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
you're just
the
like,
alligator, having the alligator run around, it's like, oh, okay, I see how that could be a combat
right.
one,
Oh,
right?
that's
The damn
cool. That makes
alligator,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
biting legs off and stuff like that. And then Elosu, he's stealth, but like that fool's combat, like
Yeah, it's a big
100%.
cat. It's a big
Yeah,
cat.
he
It's gonna
literally
hurt
takes down
somebody.
dudes by himself.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like I like it because like at the third, when you're trying to get through the third tier, or when you at least make it to the third tier, you can send Elosu into a crowd of dudes, and as long as he murks one of them, they all get scared and they run away. So it gives him time to chase after one
Mm.
or two of them and pick them off while you pop the heads of the other ones while they're running from the cat, and he gets like extra
Like
bonus
for
from
for when you're doing an outpost.
no, yeah, just like when you're doing whatever, like if you just like if you go into like the checkpoint and
Do
you're like,
they?
oh, okay, there's like 3 or 4 guys, you send Losu to
Oh,
one to make sure that everybody can see him running, and then they turn in like, oh shoot, it's cat, and then he gets taken
do they
down,
fire the
but the
alarm off?
others see him and they go, oh shoot, and they run off. No,
Do they?
as long as they
Oh,
don't see
okay.
you, then
Oh,
it
they
doesn't set
won't
off
fire
the
the
alarm.
alarm, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh damn, there's a big ass cat out here, like taking
Right.
dudes out. And then
Right.
it's like, oh, my homeboy was here, but he vaporized into a puff of red cloud, and like, where'd he go?
Some kind of sorcery cat, dude.
Yeah. It's
Demon.
that it's like it's supposed to be like kind of like the pet of like the gods or whatever, because they had like the Oluwa,
Mhm.
and he was found in the Oluwa cave or whatever, and so I think he would have something like that supernatural type of effect, because like I saw him take something down, and I was like, damn, where'd the body go? And then I saw him do it again, and I saw it burst in the red smoke as he took it out. I'm like, damn, dude, no evidence. Like, this is a
So you
sick
can't
cat.
even like loot it, huh?
No, he loots automatically for you,
Oh, he
which is
loots it
like,
for you.
yeah,
Wow,
it's just too OP. Like, yeah, I'll send him out there, like a
that's
random
cool. That's
straggler
fun.
just wanted around. Send him out there, go kill it. There's no evidence left behind that I was there, and he brings me back my item. And so, I mean, it's just a win-win situation all around for that.
That's cool, man. That's
So,
cool.
but yeah, man. So I was just playing Far Cry 6. I haven't really played anything else. I'm kind of like at that. Oh, I'm lying. I played Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, I haven't fired that up yet.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. Like it's just like the old school arcade.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Just running around doing it. I kind of wish that I had like a little like one of the Street Fighter controllers. Where you just had the
Oh
joystick
yeah,
and
little
the
fighter
A and B
stick.
buttons or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little fighter controller. But it was cool. It's like a big old map, so there's like a lot of areas to go, and I've played with like multiple people. You're right, dude. I couldn't even tell who I was
I
at
know,
a point. It was so
dude.
many
That's
people.
what it looked like.
It was
Dude.
only 5 of us, and you can have 6 on there, and
It
I was
just looked like
lost.
mayhem.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. I think the only way you would really know is if you were one of the distinct characters, like the
You're just pressing buttons, dude.
yeah,
Like,
I was mashing buttons, and then I realized I'm over in the corner on the left
and
side
then
swinging at a wall, and I'm not even attacking the enemy. I was like, dude, this is not gonna work because there's
dude,
so
that's
much
so
going on.
funny, dude. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know why they did that, right? I don't know about that, man. Like,
yeah,
I know it's kind of cool in concepts, like, oh, how about we allow 6 players? But I think
yeah.
4 is the
It's cool to
max. That's
group
kind
up.
of a lot. 4 is a little too much,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's more
I
like
think
2
4 would be
person.
solid because of the area that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are all on the same screen. And so, and it's like a condensed area, you know what I mean? It's not like you're like really far away from the screen, on some like Diablo type of view,
Right.
isometric, way up high. So it's just too much going on when you have the enemies plus you and like 5 other guys, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot, dude. It's a lot going on.
That's funny, dude. I had a feeling. Did you play with
Yeah.
your father-in-law at all?
Not on the Ninja Turtles thing, because I was just trying stuff.
Yeah.
And he wasn't on or whatever. He was doing something else. So I
Yeah,
was
I
just
do want
doing
to
a
play
bunch
that
of
one. I
random
gotta
games.
try that out. Did you
Yeah.
play it like? It's probably pretty short, huh?
I don't think so, dude. There's like a lot of levels. It's like on some Super Mario type shit. Like you know how like Super Mario, like you have like mad
Mhm.
worlds, like areas you got to
Mhm.
go to. It's like that, dude. and it could be the same generic type of map layout, but you know, I mean, it's got like a different ending or whatever. You know, like oh, you're kind of following a story. You're like following Bebop and Rocksteady, and so you're constantly following them for a good portion, and then I'm sure at some point it'll switch to like following some Foot Clan soldiers or something, and then following like Shredder actually. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like it's just like a whole bunch of areas that you just have to fight through like a slew of guys just to get to like one part of a short story. So if you look at the actual story, the story is probably really short, but they just elongated it because you know, like every step of the way is just like a whole corridor of guys you got to go through, Daredevil style, you know. So, but yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely like a cool little game to mess around with. I have been realizing though that I don't know if it's my internet or what, but playing the games on cloud right now have not really been doing it for me. Like, I've been noticing that I'll get like a wave of line, like a glitch or something like that. That'll kind of alter how I'm playing. So I was trying to play a different game. I can't remember the game that I was trying to play, but it was another one of the newer ones. And because I was, you know, playing it through the cloud, it was messing me up. Oh, it was called Disc Room or like.
Oh, I played Disc Room. I didn't like that game at all, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not like a main objective. It's kind of just like you're just like doing whatever. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of like everywhere. You're just trying to stay alive.
You're just avoiding the discs from chopping you up.
Yeah, and then there's like certain like, oh, you know, stay in this room for like 6 minutes in this small circle, or six seconds or whatever, you know, things like that. So it was okay to mess with a little bit. My son was actually enjoying the shit out of it. Like he was just laughing at me die every time I hit a blade or whatever.
You remember when I was telling you about Archville and it had those little things? That's what that is basically.
Yeah, yeah, those little rooms.
It's just its own game, though.
Right.
Yeah, like it's so infuriating, man. Like I don't have patience for a game like that because you have to do it like a million times, and it's just like
you're just repeating it, and you know, and there was some achievements they wanted you to die like 6 different ways from like different blades, and so you gotta like just keep going through all the other rooms, and it's like, oh, you died 6 times, this room's open, you know what I mean? So it's just like a pointless little, you know, time waster or whatever. But playing that in the cloud was a no-go, dude, because I was getting tore up by those blades left and right. Like every time it had to
played Archville. I played Archville 100% in the cloud.
Did you? 100%. That's probably why you hated that shit so much.
That might be why I hated it so much.
It was probably like a tad bit of lag, just enough to get you
100% in the cloud, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Drove me nuts.
But I did enjoy Archville, and I'll probably eventually go back to it. But you know, as of right now, I'm just trying to see if I can do Far Cry 6, you know. Yeah. Oh, did you see that freaking Far Cry 5 went on the Game Pass? I believe.
Yeah, Origins.
Yeah. No, not Assassin's Creed. I'm saying Far Cry 5.
Oh, Far Cry 5 went on Game Pass? No, I didn't notice that. Oh, that's tight,
it just went on Game Pass, man. So I was like, oh damn, I get to play that one now too. So yeah. I'm hoping that New Dawn will eventually
dude, I really like Far Cry 5 a lot.
Yeah. So.
Like even more than 6. Just because I like the setting quite a bit because it's America. But also because you can find legendary weapons, and that was like one of the funnest things.
Ooh, well, like they do have like a type of legendary.
It's unique a type, but it's not quite like Far Cry 5.
Can you
Far Cry 5
those?
feels like the Gjallarhorn, like they're very unique. You know, how, like in Destiny has like really unique exotics. Like that's kind of like what Far Cry 5 has.
Like shit that like no other weapon does.
Yeah, like it's like that. You were like would never see this, and it was like a special power level too. Like it was really strong. Like it was just like really cool to find them and earn them and then like use them. It was so much fun.
It's probably close to those the resolver weapons for Far
Cry. It's closer to resolver weapons, yeah. But even cooler than that. Which is why I was hoping that they would continue with that. And the whole loot system I just liked better in Far Cry 5 and into New Dawn as well. Like those two kind of together. Like just had the best Far Cry loot and experience and in my opinion, the setting was really cool. I love the setting. I just really, really liked it. And I kind of want to see you. I actually would like to see you play it and beat it so you can see the ending. I'd be
Yeah, I
curious to
want
think what
to.
you think about the ending.
Yeah, because I've played all of the Far Cries I've played and I've beat, but
It's got one of the most unique like endings to me. Like I really like Far Cry 5. Like I'm trying to play through Far Cry 6. I haven't gone back to it yet, but I was really intrigued with Far Cry 5 quite a bit because like each zone is basically like its own game. There's like a boss you're chasing at the end of each zone, and it has like a
for
whole
Far Cry
unique
5.
Far Cry 5, yeah, like a whole unique
Mm,
boss experience at the end of
okay.
each zone. Far Cry 6 is kind of like that, but this is like it's more significant. Like you probably haven't beaten the first boss yet with Far Cry 6. It's like you're probably chasing him right now. It's Costello's
Was
like brother or
Anton
whatever,
Castillo or something like that?
his brother or something like that,
Yeah.
or like his
I'm
nephew.
literally at the point right now where I'm going to assassinate him. Like
Okay,
I've
so
made it up to the building to talk to Juan so I can kill him.
yeah, so that final fight, you'll see that final fight. It's pretty just much a fight. But like in Far Cry 5, like the final boss is like unique. Like it's a unique kind of fight. Like when you
So you
fight like
can't just
his
shoot him down
sister.
with guns or something. You gotta like
No,
battle.
yeah, like it's like unique. It's like his sister will like be in like a drug world. So you have like go into like a world and like it's just different. Like every single zone is like a different experience at the end to like finish that each brother or sister off until you
Oh,
finally
okay.
get to like the last guy. So like I don't know, it just really pulled me in. I really liked Far Cry 5 a lot, and the ending just was so crazy. And then it just let me thinking like, dude, it'd be so cool to build a game from this point forward, like where this game ended. And then they did that. That's why I was like so shocked. That's one reason why that game sits so hard in my memory, Far Cry 5, because I was just so shocked that they actually did that. They actually built a game from that point forward. Like it was just perfect, man. It was perfect. Anyways, I really want to see you finish that game. It's another Far Cry, so it's really long. I know, like dedicating more time to like another long game, but it'd be cool, like to see you finish it and get what you think about the end.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
Far
Well,
Cry 5.
now that it's coming to the EA or the Ubisoft Plus or whatever, I'll probably download it just so I can have it on there, and then I'll check it out.
Yeah,
But
dude.
yeah, man. So yeah, man. Not really a whole lot to talk about this week. It was kind of dry after a couple of weeks of like a whole bunch of good information coming out, but. We have some little bit of like some talk of the future of Assassin's Creed coming up, from software information, and then a couple of NFT things. I'm into NFTs and stuff like that, so these are always little interesting topics to talk about. But before we go ahead and get into those, let's go ahead and get into the intro.
I love you, me.
All right, so the first topic that we have is this little article here from GameStop, and this was actually GameSpot, sorry, but it's the future of Assassin's Creed, and they're supposed to be having an event in September, that's going to show some stuff. So I mean, it's supposed to be they saying it's a smaller game, but I'm definitely interested to see exactly where they're going to carry Assassin's Creed from here, because honestly, I wasn't really that impressed with Valhalla. I kind of felt like it was more of like the same, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it was just so large, and there was a lot of unsatisfying areas in there and stuff like that. It just didn't feel like, oh, it's totally worth spending all this time doing all this stuff over here. You know what I mean? I can get my village stacked pretty quick, you know what I mean, like all that stuff. So then these weapons, some of them were cool, but I feel like just some of them weren't as like great. Like all that time it took you to get those weapons, and it's like, oh, they're not really that great. But how do you feel about Assassin's Creed, man?
Yeah, so I wasn't the biggest fan of Valhalla. There were some things that were cool about it, but I didn't like the direction they went. Once again, with the loot, how they made it to where you could basically make any piece of gear you got
A
legendary.
myth,
You just
yeah,
kept leveling it up and like upgrading its
right.
rarity. I much preferred Odyssey, like a million times more. Like Assassin's
Mhm,
Creed Odyssey was like just the perfect culmination of like everything they learned. Like over the
mhm,
course of time, like Assassin's Creed has kind of evolved, right? Like you had like, the original Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed 2, right? And then you had like Assassin's Creed 3 when you kind of first time you were in a ship. And then you had Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, which gave you the whole open ocean to sail in your ship. And you still had the Assassin's Creed aspects of like assassinating, targets and stuff. And
right.
then Odyssey, and then you had Origins, and Origins did away with the ship sailing, but it introduced like gear for the first time, like an RPG aspect where you can like put loot on your shoulders, your chest, your weapons. You can go collect pieces of loot in Origins. And like I love that. You know how much I rave about RPGs that allow you to collect loot and gear pieces for your character. And then Odyssey basically combined those two great aspects. So Origins was cool because you had a very deep loot system. Like
Mhm,
loot dropped on the floor and you picked it up and it had like a rarity. Blue, purple, orange, right? Black Flag didn't have that. But Black Flag had the dope ship combat, which was like the most awesome addition to any Assassin's Creed ever. Where Odyssey combines those two things together. So Odyssey combined the ship play, Black Flag,
right.
and the loot collection of
Of origins,
Origins. And so
right.
Odyssey was like the culmination, and you had the assassin, aspects of the Assassin's Creed have always been. So you had
Yeah, the
like
assassin stuff. Yeah,
I'm just saying you had the culmination of like everything Ubisoft has learned with Assassin's Creed is like what Odyssey is. To me, it's like the grail, like the peak, the pinnacle of anything that Ubisoft has ever made. I loved Odyssey. And I loved
right.
the setting. It was Greece. I loved the color palette. It was bright. It was pretty. You were like on beaches and like it was just wonderful. I love Odyssey so much. And then Valhalla kind of like in my opinion, goes backwards. Like they take away ship combat entirely, so you don't have any ship combat at all. You just sail the rivers. It's just a transportation device, which
Yeah,
isn't fun. And then the loot is completely worthless now. Like there's no point in loot. You just collect like materials now to upgrade your pieces. It just sucks the fun out of it for me. I love loot chasing. I love like going on a mission like in Odyssey. You
mhm,
would have your kill board, of all the guys you had to assassinate, and
yeah,
then it would have like pieces of loot on them, legendary pieces of gear. And they had like sweet affixes, like apply poison when you attack. And then like you could stack them up and do like a build, right? You can't do that in Valhalla. Like Valhalla kind of like does away with that. So I don't really understand why Ubisoft does this. I don't know why they constantly try to reinvent the wheel like every single time they launch a new rendition of their game. They do it with Far Cry too. Like Far Cry 5 has a different loot system than Far Cry 6. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they have to do that with the systems. Like just if it was fine in one, keep it into the next one. I don't know
yeah,
why they
yeah.
feel they have to tweak it.
They feel like they gotta like change the whole thing just because they're doing something new or whatever. But yeah, I didn't like that either with the upgrading of all the pieces. It kind of diminishes like all of the work you did to find like something that was like an Odin piece or something like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
that was
mean?
like the
Like
best
something
part.
super rare. It's like those, you get those and they're mythic. The only thing that you did was avoided having to spend all the resources to upgrade it. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing, that's the only benefit that you got, besides like the ability or whatever. It just doesn't make the ability, or it doesn't make the fact that it's like a mythic or an epic or a
Special.
legendary or
Yeah.
whatever like special. Yeah. It's just
Mhm.
like, oh, it's just a name. You know what I mean? The only thing that's going to matter is the abilities you get on it. So you can get something that's basic as fuck. And, as long as the ability is good, you just keep that. You don't even need to change anything. You don't need to upgrade it or whatever. So
Right.
it kind of defeated the purpose on it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree.
that's kind of like where I'm at with Assassin's Creed. Like
Mhm.
I
Well,
there are things I loved in the Assassin's Creed series. I just don't know if they're going to give them to us. Like I don't know what this new Assassin's Creed is going to be. Is it going to be more Odyssey or is it going to be more Valhalla? And hearing things like this on this article where it says like it potentially could be the rumored small scale Assassin's Creed focused on the Valhalla character. Like, I don't want to play
Mhm.
more Valhalla, dude. Like, I don't want to play any more Valhalla.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't excite me, like, whatsoever. So, like, I hope it's not that. I hope that's just rumored and that it could be, and I hope it's not. I hope it's something completely else. I think it'd be cool if it was modern day. Like, finally give us a modern day Assassin's Creed. And I think we know for certain that this is going to be uh, gaming as a service. This is going to be Destiny, right? It's just
Yeah,
going
that's what
to
that Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be, I'm
right.
sure.
It's just going to be infinite forever. So this is like in the last Assassin's Creed we'll probably see, and they'll just do, you know, expansions for it like they do with like Destiny. So I
Yeah.
think that's what we'll see in September. But September is a ways away. This is a really early announcement. You know how it's not how Sony does it. Sony says like, and they announce their like state of
Next
play or
week.
whatever next week. Yeah, they give you like 1 week
Yeah.
update. This is
Yeah,
like two and
it's
a half
crazy.
months, 3 months away, dude.
Yeah, man. So,
Crazy.
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll see what it has to show. I'm hoping that it shows more of Infinity, right? Because that's supposed to be their bigger title, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of interested as to how they're going to keep a story going for like a long period of time, you know? Like, is it just going to be, your own particular character, or maybe you do like where you're like a regular guy and then you go into those little chambers to go into a game that puts you into like some time in the past, and and you're in a world with other people that have done the same thing or something like that. What's it going to be like? Maybe that's just like a bunch of different areas in time that you're able to go to and do things like
Yeah.
that. Maybe that's how they break it off. But
We'll
yeah,
see.
but
I'm gonna watch it.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it, but I'm definitely not too excited about it. Another title being piggybacking off of what Valhalla has.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because of Valhalla, I just feel like there's room for failure here. Right? Like if Odyssey was the last one we got, I'd be like really excited. Because I'd be
Mhm.
thinking, oh sweet, we're just gonna like improve upon this
Like
great
you were
model.
excited for Valhalla.
Like I was excited for Valhalla. But now after
Yeah.
Valhalla, I think both of us agree we're very underwhelmed with that game. And
Yeah, well, I
I'm
was
not as
definitely
excited
underwhelmed with
again.
Valhalla, and I haven't had the chance to play Odyssey or Origins, and I know that Origins is now available on Game Pass, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it at some point. It's just that these games are so large to dedicate so much time to, or whatever, unless you just blow past this, blow through the story, and you don't really want to
Yeah, I
like
think you
collect all
would
the cool
love
shit.
Odyssey though, dude.
Yeah.
It's totally worth the time.
Yeah, I know you've definitely mentioned Odyssey a bunch of times, and I definitely want to check that out. So the moment they have that out there, that's probably the one that I'm gonna gravitate to going towards. And I'm sure it's like a matter of time. Maybe in a month or so, maybe they'll put Odyssey out there. Especially if they put Origins, they probably don't want to like just immediately dump everything on there. They probably want to
Right.
space it out a little bit, so like it seems like you're getting more bang for your buck. You know what I mean? Oh, they released another game. You know what I mean? Like type shit like that. But yeah, for sure. But let us know down in the comments below. Are you guys excited for the September event for Ubisoft talking about Assassin's Creed, or is that some shit that you're just gonna pass on? Maybe watch the highlights. But let's go to the next topic, and of course, one of the greatest games ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Is developed by From Software, and it looks like Miyazaki, who is like the CEO or like the head director over there at From Software, says another game is coming, and it's like really close to being done. They've been working on this shit for 6 years, man, which is crazy because you'd think all hands would be on deck for Elden Ring. But if they branched a little group of people, maybe they branched the OG guys from Demon Souls, the ones who popped it off first. Maybe they branched those guys off.
Blue
I'm like,
Point?
hey, work on another two.
Oh, the
No,
original Demon Souls.
the
I see what you're saying.
original Demon Souls. Yeah, maybe those guys who made Demon Souls something, out of nothing, but forgotten, paper and lore. Maybe you got those guys on something new. But I
I'll
don't know
just
what to
say,
expect on this.
like with the success of Elden Ring, they should be able to expand their studio, and like hire more people and work on more games.
They
Like I would
probably
hope,
did.
right? Like I would
Yeah.
hope like you would get into like a, like a pattern, because Miyazaki says in here that they have games that are in development right now that he is not directing directly.
Right,
So
right,
he's
right.
not like the lead director of them. So it's his studio, their engine, their developers, but he's not necessarily the lead director on them, like he has been for like all their games in the past. So that just means to me like you should try to like space it out. Like when you revamp your studio, your developing studio, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you start a game year one, you start a new game year two with a different team, and then another game year three. And then like once year 3, 4 hits, the game you started originally should be done to release.
And they
And then
all
the
start.
yeah, they all
Yeah,
domino. And now you almost have a game like every year or bi-yearly release. Like that's what I would love to see from software, right? Like it
yeah,
gets to
that
the
was
point where
it.
you have a developing cycle where you can basically have a game released every year or bi-yearly at the very least, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
for
think we're going to
sure.
hear about this game next year for sure.
Yeah,
Whether it
man.
releases next year, I doubt it, but it'll probably be the year after we'll see it released.
Yeah, and it's crazy because they were working on 3 games plus a VR title, and I haven't seen anything from Deracine. But I'm
Yeah,
interested to see what that's gonna even look like, because that might
their
be
scene's out
that might be
already.
ill, huh?
Their scene's already out.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything on Deracine. I'm gonna have to check something out on that because
Because it
that's
says here in the previous interview in 2018,
uh-huh.
Miyazaki has stated that since 2016, the studio had been working on 3.5 games. And that half game was the PS4 title, the
Right.
Deracine. It was a PS4 title. So PS4 is done. Like we're done with PS4. So this
Yeah.
was
PSVR title.
yeah, it's been released. It's already I think they actually gave it to us on Game Pass at some not Game Pass, PS Plus, I thought, at some
Hmm.
point in time. Uh but this isn't action. It's not an action oriented game. This is like
Oh,
Gone
okay.
Home or
Story
like
type
What
stuff.
Remains of Edith Smith. Like you just like exploring. But it's a
Gotcha.
From
That's why
Software
it
version.
didn't. That's why
That's
it
why
didn't
I think
come on my
you
radar.
overlooked it. But I think
Yeah.
you should still play it, man. It's From Software. I think you should try it, honestly. Like I think you should
Yeah, I
fire it
don't
up,
think
bro.
I've got this game for free though. I don't think it's for free.
I would
But I
buy
mean,
it. It's a From Software title. I would buy it, dude.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I
have a
might have
lot of
to
faith
check
in
it
From.
out for
Even in
sure.
this game, that's not even like action oriented. I would still
Yeah.
play it because they have great voice actors. They have great like storytellers. Whenever I play their games, like it's very well acted, voice acted. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be cool, man. Like it looks kind of a mystery, like a little steampunk or like I don't know, man. I
Oh,
think you would like it, bro.
yeah, this actually might be something if it's like a puzzle game, like where you're trying to like solve puzzles in a room or something like that. That might be cool.
Yeah.
But it looks kind of weird, like you're pausing time to do like random
Uh
things.
huh.
So I don't know exactly. You're just interacting or helping to. You're messing with other people's worlds or something like that. It looks like you're just taking shit from people, fucking with people. But yeah, I don't know.
Fairy
But yeah, I might.
country. You're a fairy. It looks like. Yeah, you're a fairy interacting with people's lives. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it'd be
gonna
cool to check out because From Software is incredible, man. I bet you would enjoy it.
yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely worth it, to at least like search it up, and see what it's working with, how
Like
much
no
it
kidding,
is.
if I had a PS4 VR, I'd buy it and play that for sure.
It's
But I
20. It's
thought they
$20 right now.
I thought they gave it to us though.
I don't
You have
have
to
it.
check your library. I know our library is
Yeah,
like 500 games deep now. All the
yeah,
games in the
yeah.
present.
But I just don't think. I don't think I have that. I haven't. I don't think I like bought that at all or put it in my inventory or anything
Mm,
like that.
yeah.
So, but yeah, okay.
So it
Sakura.
was so here they all are. The 3.5 lines have been working since the time Miyazaki said point 0.5 was Deracine, 1 was Sekiro, and
Mhm.
the remaining 2 are unannounced. I think one of them has to be Elden Ring, right? So there's probably like a third one
No, no, no. It
that's
says
unannounced.
unannounced.
This was
So,
back in 2016, though.
oh, okay. And the
See,
for
one of
you,
these games are revealed to be Elden Ring, but there's
got
still one other that's never been announced, right?
mm,
So I think there's just one game we don't know about. I wonder what it is, man.
Yeah, well, I hope they haven't stopped, man. I hope they're still working on some other games too, or doing some additions to Elden Ring for sure. But here,
Yeah, I just hope too. Like once like
Game
the
6,
Sekiro team stopped, they started working on something else. Kind of like what I was saying. Like so the
right?
loop can continue. So you can
Exactly.
like get a game out every couple years.
I wonder if they'll create a new game for the PS VR too.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I'm sure they
I
didn't
don't
see a
know
lot of
how.
sales with their scene, unfortunately. So that might discourage
Yeah,
them.
I don't
But
even know how Deracine did, but I feel like that was like low key, man. I don't know. It might have been more high key than what I'm thinking, but
I mean, it looks low key. It's a different direction than what they've ever done. Like
yeah.
clearly, it's not action. It's not an action adventure game, right? So I mean, like it's gonna be different. But the thing is, like they're really great at world building. Like
Hmm.
even when you play their games, like the world around you is beautifully done. So I can't imagine why Dare Scene wouldn't be at least that. Like a beautiful world to just kind of explore and look around. Yeah, maybe you're
Right.
not fighting, slashing, and like collecting RPG gear, but there's still that beautiful From Software touch that I think you would probably enjoy. I'd play it just because that's how much I love From Software. Like any world they make, I want to experience it. I guess that
Yeah.
would be like almost a selling point for me. Like if they launched a, I don't know, a From
Just
Software game
because
or
it's from
whatever in
software.
PSVR 2, that would make
Yeah.
me more so want to buy a PSVR 2, like that's how
Hmm.
much I like that studio. So we'll see,
Yeah.
man. I'm excited for it. And it's funny because we didn't have an article here, but he was talking about how he was confused as to why Elden Ring was so successful.
Right.
Because it's so similar to Dark Souls. And so
Yeah.
he was like, it's why that's what he even pointed out Dark Souls. He says, I don't know why it's more successful than Dark Souls. He's like, I don't understand why that is because it's so similar. It's because we've talked about this. One, George R. R. Martin's name was on it.
Hmm.
And two, it was an open world game. And open world games just come with a huge fan base. Or like everyone loves open world games. So like
Right.
that's gonna be more of like, oh, open world. Oh, wow,
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
intriguing. Like, what is
Yeah.
that game
Just the
about?
fact that you put
Right?
open world with it
Yeah.
next to the
Just the
name, it's
fact that
just
you
like,
say open world, like all of a sudden people's ears are perked up. Like I think it's
mhm.
those two. And then I agree with you, like for some reason they marketed it more in like the Game Awards, and every single show was always pushing it,
They
pushing it,
marketed
pushing
it
it.
so much more, man. Like
So
you could tell they almost did as much marketing for Elden Ring as they did for PS5, dude. Like like the only difference is that they had the quantity to back up all of the marketing that they did, but they marketed it as to be more appealing to the average casual gamer. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
right,
this could be fun if you want to play it. Like they literally and you can't tell me that all of the different blog sites and stuff like that didn't get like influenced, use these keywords, you know what I mean, like because they were all saying the same shit, like, oh, this is like casual player friendly, you know what I
yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
this isn't as hard,
yeah,
it's like they were using like
mhm,
keywords that everybody who does not play Dark Souls is deterred from, like all those words, like they're just like, it's
yeah,
not this, it's not that, it's not this, you know what I mean, so I mean, it's kudos to the marketing. I kind of wish that they had done that more for Dark Souls or whatever. It'd be even bigger of a title. But I
yeah,
think they've already made their mark now with Elden Ring. So it's like, where do you go
yeah.
from here? You just got to
People
keep
are
producing.
believers now, for sure. Like I agree. Like I don't remember seeing nearly that much marketing for Sekiro.
No, no,
Right? Like what
definitely.
did we see? Like one trailer.
We
Like
saw
we
probably
just
like,
knew
yeah,
about it,
probably like
right?
one or two, yeah, and it was
We just
definitely on the
were we
lineup from
didn't
games. But yeah,
Yeah, we didn't care because it was From Software, so we were pumped for it either way. But a
yeah,
lot of people weren't, and they didn't know what it was about, and they just knew, oh, it's From Software, it's hard, so I'm not going to play it. But
right.
yeah, they really made a concerted effort to like really promote this game as more user friendly, more accessible to the general player,
Hmm.
and they sold so many copies, more than Call of Duty. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, for
That put
sure.
them on the map, dude. So whatever
I'm
they do is
almost
going to be a hit.
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to go back and look at some of those Armored Core games, but I think I would probably just stick to all the games under Miyazaki's reign and then just go from there. Like,
You'll
just
never
buy
go wrong
all
with
of the
that.
games
Yeah.
with yeah. As soon as Miyazaki came into charge, go with all the games that were made after that point, and then do that. I might just just get my From Software library up, just cause.
It's
But
probably going to be a mech combat game, and that probably would excite my dad. He loves mechs. Because it
yeah.
says here, user Red Licorice claimed in January that they
Mhm.
had received a survey from Elden Ring and Dark Souls Studio about their next upcoming mech combat game. So it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Like, either way, I don't care if it's from software. I think it's going to be dope. Like, I think it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know how you can really go wrong with it. Oh yeah, check it out. I've never
Yeah.
really watched Armored Core before. I
I
don't know a
haven't
whole lot
either,
about
dude.
it.
I think I've like always stayed away from Armored Core. I've just never had like,
I know for some reason I think like we all know the name. I'm familiar with that name, Armored Core. Like I know Armored Core exists. Like I know it's always been a game on the radar. For some reason, I know it that well, but yet I never once played a single Armored Core game before.
hmm
I'm kind of curious. My dad bought a robot game a long time ago for the PS3. I wonder if it was an Armored Core game.
You're talking about that mech thing, dude.
The
That
mech.
wasn't
No,
it.
no, not that. Not that. Not the mech machine or whatever. Yeah, the Steel Battalion or whatever.
Yeah,
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 Steel,
it was
Steel
definitely still
Battalion.
Battalion,
Steel
bro.
Battalion. You
For
remember that,
sure.
bro? We were both playing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's
the
right,
hardest
dude.
game just to
That was the
initiate, man.
hardest game to control. Yeah. No, my dad bought some like PS3 game, just a standalone game. I
Uh-huh.
think it was Armored Core. I think it was, honestly. I think it might have been Armored Core.
I don't know. But seeing this though, this wouldn't entice me to play this.
Well, this looks, for one, it looks old. Okay, so I mean, like, you're not going to be blown away by anything here, but it looks
Yeah.
pretty action heavy. Looks kind of action intense. So, like, imagine this game in 2022, like all updated, all fresh, all shiny, all pretty. That would be kind of neat, right?
Yeah, but it's like
This is
I don't know. I
old.
want I want story. If I can have story, but this looks more arcadey. If he's putting in, I don't know what he's putting in.
You're so funny, man. You always say story, but like Elden Ring has like the most minimal story ever.
There's
Elden Ring
minimal
is like,
story, but there's story. There's story under there. It's just you
well,
gotta
there's gonna
find.
be story here too. See? He's flying in. He has a friend. He's helping.
Yes, not a story. It's a
He's got
mission.
he's
It's
got
like
someone to
it's
rescue,
like a
man.
mission log, and then you just go
There's a
down and like
story, dude. There's a
slide
story.
around
Come
on
on.
rails. You're just grinding, destroying enemies. But but I don't know, man.
You got
This
tanks to
might have
blow up,
been
dude.
made before Miyazaki came into power, but
It looks
actually
kind of cool
this
though.
looks not.
It looks fun, like dodging and hitting and shooting missiles. Like, yeah, it looks old, extra old. Like, of
Yeah.
course, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, imagine you have to try to envision it in a PS5, a next
Just
gen
give
game,
me
dude.
just give me Dark Souls with a mech, and I'll be okay.
That's what I would be okay with too. Yeah, exactly. Give me Dark Souls with the mech, man.
Yeah, man. That
Because
would
this
be
looks
cool.
drab and bland. Like the world is not very inviting. But like a modern day from software, like with a really cool world to
Yeah.
explore and like things to explode and different enemy types to battle against and different weapons to use. Like I can get on board with it.
Ooh, 2012, bro.
10 years old.
Damn.
We were in our
That's
20s, man.
ancient. That's
We
ancient
were in
old, man.
college, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking, man.
I ain't have time to play this shit, Dizzle. I had other shit I had to do. Finish some
This is
schoolwork,
so
man.
old, man. So I'm just saying, like, you can't, like, you just got to basically
Yeah,
try to imagine it in a
I'm trying
new,
to remember.
PS5 sleeve.
Yeah.
That's what you have to try and do. Demon Souls is old too, dude. But you have to admit, like, let's say we didn't know anything about Demon Souls, or like, oh, it's extra old.
No,
Yeah,
PS3.
yeah, it's right
Wait.
there,
Was that
2009.
original? Was that
Yeah,
the
yeah, that was it.
Oh,
Yeah, that
okay.
was it. 2009.
Oh, okay. Damn, so they threw that Armored Core trash out while Miyazaki was there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe
Trash.
it's just
You crazy. Hardcore trash while he was there.
you let this just slide? I gotta find out when Miyazaki came into power, man.
He
There
started
it
it
ain't
up,
so.
man. I think he started from software. Or maybe he didn't start it. No, actually he didn't start it. Yeah, I don't think he started it.
That ain't the
But he
same.
worked for them. He was always working for From Software.
Mm-hmm.
That's not him.
Yeah,
You have to
no.
put like From Software or something.
It's not this dude right here. Okay, let me see.
He's a manga artist. I don't think that's him. I would just say From Software.
Yeah, let me see. Jataka. Okay. Let me see. Let me see if his wiki's got anything. I know you can't really trust the wiki all the time, but you know.
Yeah, I know that.
Damn, bro.
So he been doing Armored Cores, man. He was the planner.
Yeah.
He directed Armored Core 4.
All
Oh,
that
but
shit.
he didn't do 5 though. See, he didn't do Armored Core 5.
Okay, yeah, all that
So
shit
he
was ass.
directed Armored Core 4, but he did not direct Armored Core 5. You got me gonna die for it. I knew you were gonna do that. I
Just
knew
want to
you were
see
gonna do that,
if it's
man.
all ass or
I
if it's
knew
like
you were
if
gonna
it's
do
stuff
that, dude.
okay. See, okay, they got walking in this one. No, I'm just bullshitting. Let me see. Oh shit, man.
This is a long video. You gotta like get in the middle of it, man. This is like tutorial and stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Like get in the thick of it here, man.
Okay, you do a little sliding.
The world does look a little bit more rich, honestly. Even though it's
Yeah,
an older
it still
game.
got that like blurred out as hell in the background,
Oh,
but I
that's
mean
cool,
you
man.
can
The
really load.
rockets there. That was cool.
Yeah. Also, I do
Oh,
got
see,
this
now
shit
this
on.
looks funner. Doesn't this look funner? Because you're
I got
walking.
this shit on 2x though. But yeah, let me see.
Oh, 2x made it more exciting. Dude,
Like, oh, this shit lit.
this
Like,
is
I might go
lit.
play this right now. Like,
Dude, but
this
dude,
shit
is
hella
it just
fast
me or
paced.
does that robot look more detailed than the last one?
It did.
Like,
It did.
like there's
Like, I felt
more.
like the graphics was totally different.
Yeah, totally. And this is an older game.
It's the same type of concept though. Like, you know, the missions and stuff like that.
I swear though, like the running like really helps. The walking on the ground like
Yeah.
makes a big
I think
difference.
I think the other one he was running a little bit, but it looks like he was flying on the other one.
Oh, this one
And
looks
then
actually pretty
grinding.
cool, man.
So I guess this one might not be that bad. Okay. All right. I mean, obviously, right, this is a new, you know, this is 20 some years, you know, this is 10 years later from the last one. So it's got to be different. I don't know if they'll keep the same format. I don't know how like how well the sales of Armored Core even really did. I
I
mean,
don't either.
it had to be good at some point, you know, to some degree, right, to be able to keep
Right.
making them. But I just don't know if they're not on that list of like
Click back
these
again really quick. Click back again
to what?
to
Okay.
Miyazaki. No, Miyazaki. Go back. Click the back arrow. And I'm curious. So Demon Souls came out 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Technically 1 year later. Right, because they
Well,
did
Armored Core
3
4 was
years. They did 2
2006.
years. Yeah, but they had this Armored Core for Answer or something like that.
Okay, because they do have a similar feel, honestly.
It's
Like
a
Armored Core
sequel.
4 and Demon Souls have a similar feel, even though one's in a mech and one's a person on the ground. But I'm just saying, like, the feel of it. You can see that Miyazaki feel in both those games, you know?
Yeah. So then you got Demon Souls 09 and then Dark Souls in 11, 2, 14. And then you have Bloodborne. So that's when they started kicking it up a notch. Like, okay, we're going to drop a different type of game the next year. And then it's like, boom, year after that, Dark Souls 3 comes out. So you just had to wait a little bit longer. Then
Yeah, they went 5 years playing the same exact kind of game. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. They're like, okay, we need to do something new.
Yeah,
So they
They
made the
switched
wonderful
up,
Bloodborne.
You know? So then it's like, boom, Dark Souls 3, then it's Deracine, and then boom, it's Sekiro. You know what I mean? And then Elden Ring.
That's interesting. He actually wasn't the director of Dark Souls 2, and that's the one that Dark Souls that people don't like as much. People love
Oh,
Dark Souls and they love Dark Souls 3, but Dark Souls 2 is like a different thing. He
Yeah,
didn't
he was
really have
definitely
the
director there, and then director in all of these. But
Huh.
yeah,
Oh,
supervisor.
he
And his,
directed Daracene, dude. You gotta play Daracene, dude.
yeah, I'm gonna have to
You
check it
gotta
out.
play Daracene, man.
Yeah, I'll give Miyazaki his
Based on
20.
your little rule you made, you say whatever Miyazaki makes, I'll
Whatever
do
is
that.
under his, whatever he was the director of, I'll do
Right.
that. Whatever he was the director of, I'll definitely do that. But I'm not picking up Armored Core 4 and 4 answer. Maybe if it's like
Nah, you're
free
not gonna go that
99.
far back.
If it's free 99, I might add it to the library, but I don't play old shit.
They have to remaster it for you. No, not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
remaster. No,
They
not
gotta
just remaster.
remake it.
They gotta remake it, and then you'll.
They
Play
gotta
it.
remake that bit
Yeah,
in order for me to
yeah,
play it again. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. It's past its expiration date. The milk's gone sour. So all right. All right. So let us know what you think about another game coming down the pipeline from software. To me that sounds fantastic. Like I'm ready for it. Like I also want them to continue to elaborate more on Elden Ring with like maybe 2 or 3 DLCs. That'd be fantastic. But if not, a brand new game, I'm all for it, and I'm willing to give Armored Core 6 a try, just because it's from software, and now it's like one of those like you gotta buy whatever title they put out, you know what I mean? Until they give you like an ass product, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But 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 all right. All right, so for the next topic we have, so this is my newfound hobby world right here is NFTs, man. And it's funny because just within like the last year or so, NFTs have been around for a couple of years, maybe like 3 years or so. But
If I were
they
you, I'd
started.
explain really quick what an NFT is, man.
Okay, so an NFT is like it's a non-fungible token. That's what the NFT stands for.
Right.
But literally it's just like having a digital file or something like that says that, hey, this phone belongs to me. You know what I mean? It can be attached to an image. It can be attached to a physical item. Like it doesn't have to be straight digital. It can be attached to anything. They've attached them to watches. I think like Rolexes and stuff like that now are starting to have NFTs attached that will tell you the current owner of it, and then it'll give you a trail of owners and things like that. But it's literally just like a ledger stating that
Right.
so and so owns it. So like, somebody can take the image that I have or something like that and put it on theirs, but they don't technically own it. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, if somebody wanted it, it's like, oh, bro, I can't really sell it to you, for whatever reason. But they serve like a lot of utilities. Some can just be, it's just a picture. There's nothing special about it except whatever the image is on it. And you just really like it, so you wanted it to be your PFP on Twitter, so you bought it, and you're like, hey, this is mine. You know what I mean? Now everybody will associate this image with me, and maybe
Well,
if
and also
later
the
on,
unique thing about it is you own it. So it's
yeah,
not just like a picture you have or can see or can look at or use. Like you actually have ownership of it, right? That's the big thing with NFTs, right?
Yeah, that's the big thing. And there's one of ones, and there's shit that's like duplicates. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where they got like a set of like 20 of them or whatever. I think like Balenciaga has done it. Adidas, I believe, is doing it. There's like a bunch of different companies and things like that are like trying stuff. Where it's like, oh, you have like 20 of these pieces for sale, and they're just high valued because people got money to throw at shit. So that's what it is. But they literally only hold as much value as what another person deems it has. So
Willing
I
to
mean,
pay for
that's
it.
with that's with with anything pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If people don't want to pay $180 for a pair of Jordans, that's just gonna sit on the shelf, and then they're gonna reduce the price. Same thing here with the NFTs and stuff like that. One of the more popular things is that you're able to accrue money on like a weekly, maybe a daily, monthly basis, and so that's why a lot of them have popped off the way they popped off. And then there's some that they just give you access to people, like the people who are affiliated with it are like world renowned or something like that, and it's just I want to talk to that person, or I want to say I was in the same room with that person, so I have to buy this expensive $60,000 NFT. And and maybe I have a conversation with Jay-Z or Beyonce or something like that, or Seth Green, or somebody, some movie star or something like that out there, or whatever. And it looks like Square Enix is planning to join the party, as well as a couple of other people. There's always different things getting invented with NFTs. It's literally like a brand new zone, so you can pretty much come up with any and everything as a reason to have an NFT. And if people like it, they'll buy it. You know what I mean? You can do shit for free. All you want, throw it out there, and people will spend the dollar or two to be able to mint it, to own it. And and then where it goes from there, sky's the limit, depending on how you're marketing it or what you plan on doing with it after.
Yeah. For me, NFTs are similar to skyscrapers. Like, you may not, I don't know if you know this, but when a city gets too overpopulated, there's no more land, right? And so when there's no more land, there's no more places to build housing. So what was the great invention, the great American invention? The skyscraper. They started to utilize the sky as space.
You gotta go up.
Yeah. So they built up into the sky. And then what did they do? They magically created more real estate. They magically created more land, right? And so for me, they're creating a new marketplace for people to buy and trade and sell, kind of like in the sky, but it's a digital world. It's a whole new world to buy and trade and sell. And this is the thing that always blows me away, man. Like, at least with America, we always find a way to like create a new market. We did it with the internet, like we did it with real estate, and now we're like doing it in the digital world with video games. And it's a whole new marketplace, and these things like to create so much wealth. Like the internet, and it saves economies single-handedly.
Yeah, and technically we've been doing NFT type shit for the longest, you know what I mean? All those in-game purchases that you're doing and things, just for like items in a game and stuff like that. All of that is like NFT related. The only difference is that there's no specific like digital trail that says that you own that item to the extent of how NFTs are now. You know what I mean? Like if you go into Fortnite and you purchase that skin and that gun or whatever, you know what I mean? That all that stuff is attached to your account. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. Like that. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll use a card game for example. They call it a trading card game because you take the cards you've collected and you can take them to a store or a card shop and you can trade them with someone else and you can pass ownership from one person to another. And that's like one of the funnest things about a card game is you can trade, right? Well, you can't really do that right now in Fortnite, or you can't really do that in any of these digital games where you buy something cool in the game, you buy a cool gun or you buy a cool outfit. You cannot, it's just yours. So only you can wear it. Or like in Hearthstone, like that's a card game that's digital and you collect cards, but you can't trade them. Where with NFTs, you'd be able, since you own it, you can actually pass ownership, right? So that's one of the cool things about NFTs is that you can actually sell it to someone else, right? And so like because of that, there's like the sky is the limit. It's like a whole new marketplace to buy and sell something at. So it's like not only can someone buy a Yu-Gi-Oh card, they can buy a Hearthstone card and do the exact same thing with that Hearthstone card digitally that they do with the physical real world card in Yu-Gi-Oh and trade it to someone else. And you get to retain your wealth that way. Like, I love that. Like, that's one of the main reasons why I like buying physical video games is because I know I can sell it. I feel like I have ownership.
You can get your money back, or at least some of your money back.
Get your money back.
Almost like a mini investment for something. Yeah.
And I think that'd be cool that they start letting us do that with digital games. Like, how about make a game NFT? Because you could just add a blockchain to anything. And so now I can sell that game to you. I could
Yeah.
pass the blockchain to you, and the ledger will just track it, and now you have ownership of it. Like,
If
I don't
they
know,
did that
that
with
would
digital
solve it.
games, it'd be a total difference, man. You get way more digital sales if you could trade, or like there was like a marketplace where you could put your digital copy up there, and it's
Absolutely.
like a little bit cheaper than the original. From the original stores, the digital copy, it's like $2 cheaper. It's like, oh well, I'll just buy this one. Same thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why not? So
That's exactly
that type of
right.
stuff would definitely change the game. But yeah, you're right. You can literally put, as long as you have the right codes and stuff like that, you can get anything onto the blockchain.
Mhm.
It's there. And if not, you can create a blockchain to put your shit on. So, it's pretty interesting how stuff works. And games have been one of the things that have been slowly creeping up. There's always talk of games, but the actual game being there and ready to play and being attached to a digital wallet of some sort to verify that you have a character to play that game is definitely, new. There's not too many games that are actually out there where you can like, oh, I'll log in, I'll sign in, I'll attach my wallet, boom, I'm able to play. There's like a handful. And it's interesting to see that you know people that make these games are like, maybe somebody who's like really good at coding, or somebody like an artist or something like that, and they kind of like, it's a couple of people and they're like throwing something together. Maybe there's quite a few that have come from like maybe like Disney or something like that, and they want to start something of their own, and so they're doing things like that. But to have like a big company like Square Enix who decides that they want to put money into that sector, you know what I mean? And like, okay, we're gonna do NFTs, and they have like the whole money from the company, you know what I mean, to invest in that. That might be something that's like really great. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's got a big name behind it, right? So one of the things that is the most scariest about NFTs or just crypto space in general
Mhm.
is that it's just anonymous as fuck.
Mhm.
Like, even if you revealed yourself, you ain't really like fully revealed. And anything can happen. There's no rules and stipulations to the game. So if I come out with a project tomorrow and 10,000 people mint my project and I get, 2 million bucks off of it, I can then just go. I could just disappear and be like, hey, you guys enjoy that. No matter how many promises I made out there saying like, oh, this was going to be a game, a player versus player game. You know what I mean? It's going to have this and that and this and that. You know what I mean? Like, I can just dip and nobody can sue me. Nobody can come after me, unless they knew my address and was hunting me down or something like that. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like, that's the type of like the wild west that it is out there. And you know when you have like those big names like, oh, like Square Enix, or like um when you have like really well-known people where you would be able to
It's hard
essentially
for
like
them to hide. Yeah, it's
antagonize
hard
them,
for
yeah,
them to
like
hide from that.
nonstop, yeah, like thousands and thousands
Mhm.
of people would be all over your Twitter, your IG, like, going in on you because you screwed people over. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, okay, Square Enix, that's a big company that's still doing business to this day. The only way that they would get out of it is if they sell their company or something like that, if they really fucked up on this NFT shit. You know what I mean? It kind of gives you like a reassurance, like, oh, this is like a solid, possibly a solid investment. Nothing is really guaranteed, but it's like, if you were going to get into something, probably be this.
Yeah, I
So
also think another issue, not necessarily with NFTs, but I think with game focused NFTs is, for me, there's two issues. I think for one, number one, I think it's really hard to explain to people why this is something they think they need or is improving their life, because almost all good inventions are things that have added value to your life or things that you needed, right? Like, it's always serving a need, right? That's why they say like the mother of invention is necessity, right? Like,
yeah,
you might be going in, in your garage, and like something happened and something fell. You're like, oh, dude, it would have been really cool to have this so and so thing to prevent that from occurring. And then you
yeah,
might go online and search to see if someone's invented that already. Because what do you do when you're trying to see if someone's fulfilled your need? I think it's kind of hard for people to, or at least kids, because games are kind of focused more on like younger people, to like convince them why they need it. to them, like, why do they care? I'll just buy my skins in Fortnite. Like, it's really hard, I think, to like, it's hard to get people on the NFT bandwagon in like
Mhm.
this big sense that they really want it to be, like with the Web 3.0, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
It's hard, I think, to make that connection. And then the second part is shoot, I kind of lost focus where I was going. Is based off what you were saying. You were talking about how the person can just disappear, right, and drop off the
Yeah.
bandwagon with NFTs. And I think there's an issue with NFTs when it comes to,
Accountability.
yeah, accountability. Yeah, holding them accountable and these businesses accountable, because they're like paving the way. Because
Mhm.
like this doesn't exist right now, and people don't really know if this will take off or not.
Right.
And it's very difficult, to like I said, convince people, and then make sure that these people keep investing enough to make it grow to the point that it becomes the norm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, because we're going to talk about Web 3.0 in a minute, but it's like building off this notion of all games being interchangeable. Like every single game on planet Earth is just as interchangeable. Like you mentioned the Rolex watch.
Yeah.
Like if I own the Rolex watch, I can hand it to you. I can give it to you in China. I can give it to you in Australia. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's interchangeable. But like,
Mhm.
it doesn't really work that way with NFTs yet in video games, because I can't really pass a skin that I got in Final Fantasy 15 into Fortnite. Like the coding's completely
You're talking
different.
about in like
You know,
console video games
in like
or
console video games are just like, yeah, it's very,
on
they
PC.
have to like almost agree. They have to like agree to allow their coding to be interchangeable, and like there's just so many hoops to jump through
Yeah,
that
I mean
I
it's already crazy hoops to jump through just to be able to do cross-platforming. To be able to be like, okay, you have save data on PlayStation, you can still use that save data on Xbox, and you can still use that save data on PC. You know what I mean?
right.
Like we're just now starting to get to that point where
Oh
some
yeah.
games are allowing that,
Well, and here's what I was trying to say on accountability. You reminded me. It's not just selling it to somebody, but there's a stigma of buying things in a video game, like with loot boxes and with pay to win. People, I think, worry that NFTs are just going to exacerbate that problem, making everything in a video game money focused and money based takes away from just getting the story to you and letting you
Mhm.
enjoy the game and the story without having to be paywalled with who knows what I have to buy to progress or move forward. There's a stigma there, and it's like it's hard to trust these companies that they're not going to try to gouge you and all these things, right?
And I do get you on that, and on that first, that first note or whatnot. It's like you have to, when you're looking at NFTs, NFTs first of all are considered like a financial investment, right? That's what they would be mainly
Mm-hmm.
considered. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to go into it the same way you would go into like stocks or just any other type of investment. You know what I mean? You're
Mm-hmm.
investing at your own risk, right? So if you're deeming that, you think that this thing is gonna go from $5 to $3,000, in a month or something like that, so I'm gonna buy a bunch now or whatever, you know what I mean? That's on you. But at the end of the day, if you go into some of these things like an NFT game for what it is, a game, you're just paying what it costs to play. So if it
Mm-hmm.
costs $60 to play this game, it costs me $60 to buy this NFT to play this game. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing as purchasing a game off the shelf, and you own it just like you would purchase a game off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, 2 months down the line, it could get bad reviews and no longer be worth as much as when you originally purchased it. And so you would hope that if you purchase a physical copy and you're done with the game, you want to try to trade it in, right? You would just hope that maybe I can get half of what I paid for it back, right? Because I did
Mm-hmm.
get some type of enjoyment or whatnot. or I bought it immediately and I'm like, okay, I didn't like this. You know what I mean? So I want to quote unquote return it, or I got to try to sell it to somebody else who might want it, you know, so I can recoup my money. It's the same thing. So if you look at it as that, as like, you know, this NFT game is something that I want to play and I want to enjoy this game. And maybe, possibly, I can make money on the side, right? Like Mark has like really good examples, right? Like he loves Pokemon. So he goes and he gets the double set of Pokemon and he plays those games, but he sells the box. So he still has the games, but he just sells the collector's box because it's a double. And he gets like $30 back off of what he paid on his game just for selling that damn little box. You know what I mean? He bought it so he could enjoy it, but he was able to make a little bit of profit from it in the long run, just from, you know, deciding he wanted to give up something, you know. And that's what like some of these NFT games have, you know what I mean? It's just like for instance, one that I'm a big fan of is The Remnants. It's an NFT game, Survivors, Zombie, or whatever. It's a little like, it's like a pixelated, it's got a map. And you literally have a bunch of locations. You just click, go to them. I've done a video on it before. If you guys want to check it out, it's on the channel. Just type in Remnants on the search for WLG. You'll see it on there. But you know, you play this game, and there's no money behind the coin or anything. You know what I mean? You go and you get this camp token when you go out to venture into these areas, and sometimes you're lucky enough to get an item, and that item might allow you to be faster on your loot trips, or it might allow you to have a better chance at getting more items or unlocking items that can get you into certain areas that you need in an item in order to have access to. It's literally just a game. But they have a marketplace that is out there for Solana called Famous Fox Market. And you can literally put your coins that you've earned on there to be available on that marketplace. And if somebody wanted to spend actual money or Solana cryptocurrency to purchase some coins, they might purchase your set of coins. You know, if you put 1,000 out there, you know, you might put it listed for like one soul, so it's maybe like $80. So if they bought them, you get $80 off of that. And it's like, oh, okay, I gained off of this. It's like, cool. But other than that, you could keep playing with that. You know what I mean? That currency is utilized in the game fully. So there's always something to do with that currency in the game. So it's like if you've got a crap ton of them and you know you can make a lot of those coins back, you know, selling a little bit of it here and there to get some extra profit is doing nothing but benefiting you. It's selling.
See, I think there's a few things that pop into my head when I hear the things that you're saying. Like, so the first thing is like, I wouldn't want all video games to be that way. Like, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't want everything to be money focused, right? Like, I would want just like when I buy a book, I want to like read the book that I bought. And I think there's a challenge. Like you said, when I go to the store and I buy the video game, I have no problem if these games can stay within a confines of an ordinary entertainment model for a video game. But the problem I have is when they turn into like Diablo Immortals, right? Where like it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to really get everything out of this game. Like, I have no problem paying money for things, but to a certain degree. But these games can get out of control. If everything is so money focused, then like your game ends up turning into something that I don't want it to turn in. I'd rather stick with paying my $60 and buying the game as a whole and get everything out of it.
Right, but what I just explained to you is the same thing that's happened with World of Warcraft in the past, like you know, back in like, you know, 2007, you know, 2008, you know, where there was just people on eBay saying, "Hey, I'll trade this item to you if you give me $25 or something like that." You know what I mean? So it's literally that same concept that's been around. It's like you're able to trade. The game is not oriented around money, and the reason why is because there's not a currency backing the token that you're earning in the game along with the items. Those items don't have a set value. to them in like
Right.
real world money. It's
Right.
literally the coins are the coins. One camp equals one camp. It doesn't equal, this or that, but over there it's valued at something else. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to purchase some camp, you could if you wanted. But in the game itself, you paid your $60 to get one of those remnants, you could play that game. And you don't ever have to buy anything off market or sell anything off market. You can keep
Right, but I
everything.
guess what I'm saying is like when you mention like you get an item that lets you go to a place or unlock a place you couldn't go to before. I guess
Yeah.
like I don't want things like that to happen. Like I
Why?
want
That's
everything to be
literally
available
that's
to me.
Metroidvania. That's Metroidvania.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to buy it to
No, no,
do
no.
it.
You didn't buy it. So like I'm saying, like, okay, if I have two places open, like I have a city and then I have a town, but there's a cave over here. And so if I go to this city and I go to that city a couple of times, oh, I finally got lucky and I found a flashlight. That flashlight that I found in the city was needed to be able to go into the cave. That's how it works.
Right, but
It's not
how
like I had to buy it off
but
of a market or anything.
but how tuned is it? Right? Like how
What do you mean?
this is what I'm talking about, accountability and trusting the developer. Like how tuned is it?
Uh-huh.
Because in Castlevania game, I'm going to get the key if I just keep playing at a normal rate. Like I don't have to
Yeah.
like get lucky. Right? Like there's no such thing as getting lucky in Castlevania. I'm going to get the boots that give me the jump, the double jump that will let me get to that next zone. I don't have to get lucky or like it hasn't dropped for me. The flashlight hasn't dropped for me. I've been playing. You know what? I'm just going to go to the marketplace and buy it. I don't want that to permeate the game. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
I want
I hear
everything to
what
be
you're
accessible
saying,
and
but
open to me from the start of the game. And so I'm fine with games like that existing. I just don't want it to get so permeated like that becomes like the
where it's
video
everywhere.
game culture. Yeah, like that's what games are now. Like you just everything's a gamble. Everything's a roll of the dice. And if you get the item, you get it. If you don't, you can go buy it or you can keep playing and get it if you get it or don't. I want it to be like give me an experience that I paid for from start to finish.
Yeah, it starts to be. I mean, you can kind of think of like in Far Cry 6 when you go and you open up a Libertad chest, or you go into an area that's heavily guarded, and you do one of those damn the I think the confiscated items or whatever. Like you don't know exactly what item you're going to get out of a Libertad chest. When you open it up, it's going to be random out of the selection of the different items and whatnot. And sometimes it won't even be that. It'll just be gunpowder and or a Supremo, just because you might have already gotten that item. So it's that when you keep opening these chests up, you're going to get something. But what are you going to get? You don't know. That's literally that. Each of the areas, you go to it. You don't know how many times you got to go to it, right? You might go to it one time and get the item that you were looking for, or you might have to go to it 20 times and get the item that you're looking for. But you can get the item you're looking for by going there. But yeah, I mean, it's speeding up the process by, Joe over there got two of those items, so he goes and sells one because he only needs one, and so if you got the money for it, you can go over there and purchase that
Yeah, I
item.
just don't like that. I don't like that permeating all of our games. Like because it gets muddy. Like so for instance, let's say a game like The Last of Us Part 2 or whatever, you pay 60, you get the whole game. There's nothing that you're trying to hunt for or getting lucky to get. Just
Well, you
as
got
you
to
move
hunt
through
for
the
all of those like items on the map and stuff like that. The
yeah, but
achievements.
there's no like luck involved. Like if you just go to that spot, you're gonna collect everything. You can follow a guide and just like collect every item, whatever.
I
Because
got
there's no incentive for them to block anything. That's what I'm talking about, I guess, with trusting the developer. Because yeah, I think if you got a great developer you can trust, like you're saying Square Enix or whatever, and like
you.
they keep it all tuned well to where you still feel like you're getting the experience you want from your game, and you have this added bonus of being able to sell. But I worry about developers like Blizzard. I worried about like that becoming the norm where it becomes so incentivized for them to tune it in such a way, or like with Yubi, like with Valhalla, they tune the experience game or the gear collection in such a way that it's just annoying enough that you're going to go to the marketplace and buy your experience boost, or you're going to buy your your weapons pack, and you're like, dude, I don't like this. Why can't I just get a full experience at a fairly tuned rate that feels right and feels fair without having to like dump additional money into the system? Like that's where I worry. I just worry from that whole perspective with the NFT direction when these people say they're going to make NFT games. Because the more and more successful they get, the more and more it's going to permeate our culture. I mean, our hobby, and the more and more we're going to have to deal with it. And I'm
I
sure
mean,
there's
you're
going to
gonna
be
see that as
developers
soon
that love,
as yeah, you're gonna start seeing that as soon as things like Meta start popping off, and then that world, the metaverse,
right.
starts to become way more in tuned, and you're able to bring all these things in and whatnot. And so, we can wrap up the talk with Square Enix and whatnot, and move on to the last topic, which is kind of like in a similar ballpark, which is the Last of Us devs are deciding to some of the Last of Us devs are getting together, and they're creating this AAA game that's supposed to be like Web3 for PC and consoles, which is like crazy. Like that's something that like the metaverse talks about things, but you have to get their unit and you have to play in their world, what I mean, to be able to bring things in. But whatever gets culminated into the metaverse, and tags along, those things will be in there. But we're talking about something that could span across like everything, you know what I mean? Like I'm not stuck on a PC only or a Quest headset, you know what I'm saying? I can be in this metaverse on my my PS5 or on my Xbox, you know what I mean, or on my PC, with a Quest helmet on or something, you know what I mean. And that's interesting, having a game like Conquer and being able to bring a weapon from Conquer into Jack and Daxter or something like that, you know what I mean. That would be cool, if you're able to bring stuff that you own and just bring it into any game that you're able to play on this, in this world or whatever, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be really cool. I don't know if it's possible. Of course, anything's possible, but it just seems so unlikely to me because in order for like, there's so many nuances, right? Like in order for my weapon in Conquer to be usable in Jack and Daxter, I mean, Jack and Daxter has like a unique code to itself, and Conquer has a unique code to itself.
Assets,
assets, even down to how the weapon would function. I mean, like it's so hard. It's so hard. And then imagine you want to do that in a true 3.0, like a true. You'd have to be able to do it not just to Daxter, but now The Last of Us Part 2, right? But now to Halo, right? Like all these guys, it's not the same as like a JPEG picture. Like every system uses that language.
Yeah.
Or like in the real world, we're all living in the real world, so we can pass a Rolex from one person to another. These games are all different worlds, and being able to pass items to them seems so insurmountable to me.
That they're made on different engines.
Different engines,
with like
everything.
All that stuff is totally different. So it would have to be like you create one universal coding
and everyone's building
in one system, and everybody, anybody who wants to be involved with it builds it on that. So like maybe you do something like Unity, right? And there's like some type of a plugin that you can add with Unity that code from items will be, kind of like embedded into each item that will give you the functionality of how it works, the code of how it works, reacts with physics and all that stuff. So that when you bring it over to another game that's built in Unity, that those assets just populate, that code runs.
You would also need it almost to be the exact same engine and the exact same graphics, because
that's what I'm saying. Like if you use like Unity, like Unity 5 or something, like that,
everyone used it, but it was also
Unreal Engine 5 or something.
Right. It was, but Unreal Engine 5 has like a whole bunch of different like assets you can kind of use. So a game can look like Jack and Daxter or Last of Us 2 and Unreal Engine 5, but you'd have to almost make them all look the same, because when you transfer that item from Last of Us to Jack and Daxter, the color pattern, the functionality would all have to be
The
honed and
artistic
adjusted.
design,
It,
everything
it
would
could
be
take
different.
it could take a designer a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to like just that one item, just to get that one item to function in Jack and Daxter. It
Yeah.
would have to be like the same exact world, kind of like what is it, Ready Player One? Like everyone's
Mhm.
playing the exact same game, the exact same world, but it's like a different type of mini game within that world. Like you can race over here or fight over here, like what you're saying.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but everyone would have to be doing the
It's one
same
universe.
thing, like the same thing, even down to the graphics and functionality of every item in the game. That way, it could pass. But that seems so sci-fi to me. That seems like science fiction to me, like totally like a world, Star Trek. Like I
Yeah.
just can't imagine it becoming reality, but it's a cool idea. Like it's really
I
neat.
mean, yeah, in a sense you would have to do like what is it? It's PlayStation Dreams.
Yeah,
That game
Dreams is kind of
Dreams.
doing a little bit of that.
Dreams has
Yeah.
like a bunch of different worlds, or like Roblox. Roblox has like a bunch of different worlds, right? But they're all under the same like Roblox
Hmm.
umbrella. You know what I
And
mean? They're
looks
all
too.
used with the
Yeah.
same
Hmm.
engine and everything,
Hmm.
which at that point would allow you to bring almost anything from any of the other games into
Hmm.
that world, right? Because
Hmm.
if that engine could create it, it can make it over here, and the code would work properly. So I just think it has to be like one of those things, or it's just like a big world that's allowing people to make things. So I think like Dreams would be like one of like the perfect ones. You know what I mean? I just don't know if they've made Dreams to be able to bring assets from another person's creation into another person's world or whatnot. But something like that, it would have to be something like super huge, where people are able to just keep building and adding more assets in, and everything that's added in can be populated in
Yeah,
any
I
of
just
the
don't think that
worlds.
would be true 3.0 until everything's interchanged, every game.
Yeah,
That's true 3.0. So this would be like a 3.0 S, like small or something, like a miniature version of a 3.0 system. But a
yeah, it would
true
have rules
3.0,
to it.
yeah, a true 3.0 would be everything would be interconnected, just like the real world, right?
Hmm.
Like everything is interconnected. Anything that you buy in America, you can drive in Japan, right? Like it's all
Right,
interconnected because we're all in the same code, which is reality, right? Like if you
right.
could do that somehow, then that would be cool. I just don't think like that seems like sci-fi to me with the video game, at least where we're at right now. But you could do
Hmm.
microcosms. Yeah, you could do like a little microcosm, like they're trying to do their own little world, and you can transfer things between like whatever games are developing within that world.
Yeah.
You could do that, but true Web 3.0, like that's like a pipe dream to me. But maybe it's cool to think about. Really cool to think
Yeah,
about.
man. For sure. I mean, I'll be definitely interested to see some of these other developers and things like that trying to get into this stuff. It'll be interesting. Because there's like a lot of people who've come from um, different like big studio backgrounds to get together with some of like their coworkers from there to try to create something. And some of them are successful and some really aren't. But it's all the roll of the dice, man. You just gotta see, you know.
You get well, yeah,
So
like you were mentioning with Square Enix, like someone has to pave the way for this to even have a possibility of existing at all, right? So you need some people to jump on the bandwagon and try to invest and see if it can work or if there's enough
yeah,
interest in it
all
to
you have
even
to do is
grow.
prove that it's able to be done, and it's able to be done. So you just it's just on to the next person to see if they can do it better. You know what I mean? And after a while, it's just gonna grow and grow, or it'll die away if people give
Mhm.
up. But as long as something has been created and can maintain a successful run, then they're gonna keep going with it. Like people are gonna see, oh well, they did that. We're way bigger than them. Like we can do this. You know what I mean? And we can create something like way more better. And it would be interesting to see like a game, such as like Far Cry 6 or something like that, that was able to be held like as an NFT. You know what I mean? Like some gun you get is like rare as hell or something like that, and be able to
Mhm.
sell that off and get buku bucks just because you played the game for 127 hours, and you're able to get
No,
something
I
off.
mean, I'm thinking even deeper, man. Like you're in Far Cry 6 and you're using a gravity hammer from Halo. You're
Yeah.
like, dude, man, you could transfer that here. I own it. I can play with it wherever I want to play with it at. If I
Yeah.
want to use the gravity hammer here in
Yo,
Halo 6, I
yo,
can.
Fallout 6 and you have the Gallahorn, bro. That would be
Yeah.
nuts.
Like if you own it, like how cool would it be if you could just I could use it wherever I want to use it. I mean, that's how
Yeah,
real
man.
life works. If
And
I
it would
own that Rolex, I can wear it with whatever outfit wherever I want to wear it.
and
That'd be
honestly,
so cool.
I wouldn't be mad if there was like some type of a like configuration tunnel that you had to pass through, right? Like PlayStation makes it or an Xbox makes it or something like that, where like you have something in a game and you want to solidify it. You want to make it real. You don't want it to just be digital anymore. You want to give it some, some data. So you pay something like $6 or $20 or whatever. And then next thing you know, like this thing is chock full of data. It says Godly Sovereign owns it. You know what I mean? Like, boom, this is when I acquired it, like all of that information. And now I can take that piece and now move it to something else. You know what I mean? That would be sick. Cause then it's like, okay, you caught something that you feel like, oh, this might be worth something. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna solidify it. Like this is mine now, and send it off somewhere. And be
I know,
able to play
like your mind just like the mind just runs wild with how how cool it would be
go. Yeah,
to be able to like transfer, like anything that you own. I can, bring it to any game I want and use it in any way I want. Like it would just be crazy. Like the sky's the limit in that kind of reality. But who knows?
Yeah, for sure,
Right now
man.
it's
It would
sci-fi.
yeah, for sure. It's just
Right
all
now it's science fiction, but it's fun. But who knows, man? It's
Yeah,
a cool
but that would
idea.
be, that would be amazing to bring like an assault rifle into Legends of Zelda or something like
Totally.
that.
It's so cool, dude.
You're shooting stuff with a
You're
gun.
mowing stuff down.
Yeah, you're just mowing through
Yeah.
goblins, in Breath of the Wild with a gun instead of a bow. You know what I mean? You're just taking stuff down. It's like, dude, this should not be happening right now.
Yeah.
What you're doing. That's literally what mods are. You know what I mean? Mods do what shouldn't be done or what wasn't done before. So you would technically be adding a modded piece into the game, and then it would just work like how you programmed it to work.
That'd be true 3.0. That's a real cool Web 3.0 reality there, man, where you can just do that. Like that's so cool.
For sure, man. So
or you put a car or whatever you want or something in Zelda.
Dude, like, man, take a picture of your
car.
Take a picture of your physical car, and then just turn it into an NFT and drop it in there.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, that stuff would be sick. Oh, Grand Theft Auto would be on another.
Oh, world. Dude, that's the world right there. That everything.
Would be another world.
You would have the Zelda glider in that world. Like you would have whatever you wanted in that world, dude. You could almost do anything.
Man.
Yeah.
You're using all of that stuff.
You're gliding from rooftop to rooftop, dude.
Yeah, man. Or just imagine like an anthem suit. An
anthem suit.
You just take it off in a freaking full suit.
Just Iron Manning it out.
Yeah,
dude. Just play Iron Man.
That type of stuff would be sick. But yeah, man. So I'm definitely excited to see like where NFTs go from here. I mean, there's like a crisis, that's going on right now, and things are starting to shit the bed a lot, like everywhere. And in NFTs, it's definitely hitting them there. But things are still surviving and whatnot. And so I'm excited to see where it'll be at. Maybe a year or two from now. Because shit in the NFT world, that shit moves quick. Like crypto and stuff, like something in the NFT, a week feels like years. You know what I mean? Like stuff moves so fast.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. But that is all of the topics that we have for you guys tonight. We appreciate everybody who's stopped by, anybody who clicks on the video. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. We're like at 299. I know that's like a hella small number, but we're so close to 300. I would really love to see those 2 zeros behind that 3 soon. And hopefully, we'll see 1,000 and 5,000 and 1,000,000. You know what I mean in the future. But yeah. So Until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
I love you, me.